RECAPS is a set of 6 practical strategies designed to help caregivers to assist people with dementia to maintain everyday skills for as long as possible. Each letter of RECAPS stands for a different strategy. As a professional caregiver, you're likely to encounter a variety of people with different levels of need. Everybody's situation will be different, and not everything we talk about will work for everyone. But we hope that you can take these strategies on board in your work, try some of them, and see what works for you. The first RECAP strategy is R, for reminders.
So one of the first things you'll notice when working with people with dementia is that they tend to forget things. Now, it's not our job to test their memory. Our job is to help them to remember. So I find it helps to give them little reminders before they forget. For instance, Ivy here tends to forget to bring her glasses up to bingo. So I always prompt her about her glasses before we leave to make sure she has them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And we'll go and visit her now. Here we go. Hello, Ivy. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Are you ready to go to bingo?
Yes.
Have you got your glasses with you?
Glasses.
Okay, let's go.
Remembering people's names can be particularly difficult for people with dementia, so it's a good idea to mention the person's name as soon as they appear. You might also need to give a reminder of who the person is in relation to the resident. For example, your sister or the physiotherapist.
Oh, Stanley. Here comes your sister, Cheryl.
Visual reminders, like signs with words and pictures, can be used in key locations to help remind people where important things are.
You might notice the photos and labels around the place. We put those up to show the residents where things are. The toilet, their room, what's in their cupboard. All those day-to-day things that can look the same if we don't label them. A recent addition around here is the visitors book. Each resident has one in their room. The idea is that it helps us and their families keep track of who's been in, if anything particular was said, and when they're coming back. So see here, Stanley's son was in here yesterday. He added some photos to Stanley's wall, and he'll be back again on the weekend.
Facilities could also have a whiteboard in a prominent or central place to remind residents what's happening in the facility that day. You can use spoken or visual reminders to compensate for memory problems. The next RECAP strategy is E, for environment. Having permanent places for everyday items helps create an environment where residents can automatically link things with their locations. You'll need to give practice and reminders to get them into the habit of using these places though.
You'll notice the shelves around the place. We'll use those to keep the residents' personal items in one spot. It makes it easier for us and them to find things, especially if we can get them in the habit of using them.
People with dementia function best in familiar surroundings, so try to avoid making any unnecessary changes to the setup of their room, and, if you can, incorporate familiar items from home. This can be reassuring and comforting.
We also try and make each resident's room familiar and comfortable by getting family to bring in personal items. It also helps identify which room is theirs. Ivy's family brought in this wonderful shawl, and I find it helps whenever she seems upset to make sure the shawl is on her lap or around her shoulders.
Try to keep a familiar environment by having a permanent place for everyday objects and avoiding changes to the surroundings as as far as possible. The third RECAPS strategy is C, for consistent routines. People with dementia remember regular habits relatively well, and having consistent routines helps maintain this automatic memory. So keep up familiar routines, like having things happen at the same time each day or on the same day each week.
It's 12 o'clock. Time for some lunch.
Oh, good.
Can I help you down to the dining room? Let's go.
You can also make new routines. For example, by doing things in the same order when getting ready in the morning. Predictable routines help reduce anxiety, as well as maintaining the person's involvement in daily tasks. Having consistent routines by sticking to familiar routines or setting up new ones makes the most of the person's automatic memory for regular habits and reduces anxiety. The next RECAPS strategy is A, for attention. To give a person with dementia the best chance of taking in information, you'll need to help them pay attention. When you want to explain something, try to avoid distractions wherever possible. You'd be surprised how badly noise like TV or radio interferes with a person's ability to follow what's being said. Then, to help the person focus their attention, try to get eye contact and make sure that any item you're talking about is in their line of vision.
2 vitamins today. And here's some water.
To help people pay attention, you'll need to avoid distractions and focus their attention on the task at hand. The next strategy is P, for practice. Practice helps people with dementia maintain everyday skills for as long as possible. Provide opportunities, when you can, for them to carry out tasks from start to finish, even if it's slow, and try not to take over. You'll probably need to provide extra support by simplifying the task and giving reminders throughout, or by guiding their hand through the movements. At the very least, try to let the person carry out the final stage of the task to give them the satisfaction of being able to complete something. When a person with dementia needs to learn something new, you'll need to give plenty of practice in a natural kind of way. The person will learn best if you space out the practice over time and if you use the same reminders each time.
Because Stanley's just moved across to this unit, we are working on teaching him the way to the dining room. The trick is to take him the same way every time. So we take him at least once for every meal, then once or twice in between if we get a chance. It's almost time for his lunch now. So can I get you to bring him out and take him down this walkway? So make sure you point out the arrows along the way, telling him when you are turning and which way. So see the path, we turn right here. Okay.
Practice can help people with dementia maintain everyday skills and learn new ones. The last RECAPS strategy is S, for simple steps. To help the person complete tasks, you need to break the task into simple steps. Give one simple instruction for each step, and sometimes you might find it helpful to give reminders of the order of the steps. You'll need to allow the person the time they need.
Here's your clip. Okay. You pull it all back and into the clip.
You can help people with dementia to complete tasks by breaking them down into simple steps and allowing plenty of time. The important points to take away from each of the RECAPS strategies are: give reminders to prompt the person when they need it. These can be verbal or visual. Create a familiar environment with permanent places for commonly used objects and avoid changing the surroundings. Have consistent routines to help support the person's automatic memory for regular habits and reduce anxiety. Help them pay attention by limiting distractions and focusing their attention on the task at hand. Give plenty of practice to help the person maintain everyday skills and learn new ones. And finally, break tasks down into simple steps and give plenty of time.